All right, man. Today is Wednesday. It is December 7th. Welcome to the Dog Walk presented by Barstool Sports. We are back, and we have a disintegrated crew. I think the last couple weeks we had White Sox Dave and Chief join us. They're out hunting, so it's myself, it's Danny, it's Hannah. Little free swim action. How's everybody doing today? Hannah, you specifically.
Good.
Pillow girl.
I hide a pillow, yes, under my butt so I could be lifted. My feet don't touch the ground. But it's better than being like a little pipsqueak, like, hey guys, it's me.
No, I got you. Danny, how we doing?
Good. Happy St. Nick's Day to all those who celebrate it.
Yesterday was St. Nick's Day.
Is it? So sometimes, I think it's free range. From December 5th through like December 7th. People celebrate it differently, and I've come to realize that it might have been like an upper middle class thing. St. Nick's Day.
Wait, what is that?
Exactly.
You put out your shoe, right?
You just like put out. I forget the origin. It's basically the same shit as St. Nicholas himself. You and Chief did a dog walk on it, where you leave your shoe by the chimney.
I did not retain any of that information.
Really, it was cool. I resurface it every year. Yeah,
you're full of fucking shit.
I swear to God, the origin of St. Nick and St. Nick's Day. It's like.
You do not resurface that every year.
Yeah, I do.
Like it's the fucking...
So we can go back now. We can go through the archives.
Treehouse of Horror Simpsons episode.
Yeah.
Somebody tell me.
I resurfaced the clip. It was a great clip of the episode, and it was something like...
for social purposes.
Yeah.
Got you.
Yeah.
You made it sound like you
meant?
listen to the episode every year.
Like religious purposes.
I call bullshit. Like, yeah.
Like I'm watching A Christmas Story every year or something.
Exactly. Like how people watch Home Alone every fucking year.
Right. No.
Oh, it's that time of year. I'm popping on that St. Nick episode Eddie and Chief did. I was going to, that was the most preposterous thing I ever heard. But
no, I don't even think that'd be that weird, but...
Fuck yeah, that would be weird. I'd be like, dude, come on.
But, yeah, you leave your shoe by like the fireplace and you get like, a candy bar, a fucking yo-yo or something like that. Yeah. A small present.
What's the significance?
I believe it was, I'm going to botch this, but people would leave their stockings by the fire, and certain people, they needed like money. They needed money in order for their daughters to get married or something, and St. Nick would leave it in there. God, I completely ruined that.
Yeah.
But go look up the episode.
This sounds like
Don't put me on the spot.
All right, we're going to post the episode somewhere. So follow Dog Walk on Twitter or Instagram. I think it's just the Dog Walk or Barstool.
Basically,
Dog
a
Walk.
nice man named St. Nick was giving people small gifts and gold in return for them to not get killed.
That's Dog Walk Barstool.
Dog Walk Barstool.
That sounds like a little unfair. I have smaller shoes.
So you get less...
less gold.
You're she's kids section. Do you know that?
I believe it.
Well, you brag about it, how you save money.
I don't brag about it. I just
yes, you do. You bragged about how you bought a Klay Thompson's youth jersey.
I mean, that is just like...
How much is a youth jersey?
A lot less.
Well, yeah.
Significantly less. But I will say, buying heels in kid size, that's not a thing.
Were you shopping at American Girl doll?
Pretty much.
But
okay, but Eddie,
what?
Kids' shoes are always a lot sicker.
Are they?
I feel like there's way more Jordan options. They look a lot cooler.
Yeah, but I'm not out here wearing Jordans too.
You could be.
The clerk.
Did you have the Velcro shoes? That was a rule. I was not allowed to have Velcros.
Why?
My mom just despised them for some reason.
The sound of
No, she just
You're taking the easy way out.
Yeah, something about them. She was just that's not. No
Velcro until you learn how to tie your shoes.
No
I feel
Velcro.
like it's fair.
She was very anti-Velcro. I never had a Velcro shoe in my life.
I will say, being an adult now and having an untied shoelace constantly, once a day it happens, is almost embarrassing on the streets, walking back home.
Untied shoelace?
Yeah, and I'm just can feel it flopping around in the dirt.
It's a bad look.
It's an embarrassing look.
Got a double knot.
Gotta tuck it in. I brought up Simpsons Treehouse of Horror. Mm-hmm. I have a Simpsons. I want to talk about the Simpsons real quick.
Let's hear it.
Because I had a thought the other day. I was thinking about something, and I want to get your opinion on this, specifically Danny. Hannah, I guess you could chime in too. Before we do, though, I want to talk about our friends at Game Time. Game Time is the exclusive ticketing partner of Barstool Sports. Give the gift of an awesome experience this holiday season with Game Time. If you're nervous that your present won't arrive on time, or simply forget the holiday, shop with Game Time. Okay, Game Time tickets get delivered to your phone and inbox instantly. Game Time has all the best tickets, and you'll get an awesome price on them. If you haven't given Game Time a shot yet, now's the time. We've been using Game Time all year. Obviously, went to the Niners game. I went to the Packers game this past weekend. We went to Elton John. We went to so many things this year. We went to Cubs, White Sox.
Take the girl to a show this holiday season. No one ever forgets a show as a present.
Exactly.
Pitbull.
Pitbull. Santa still doesn't have her voice. A year and a half later. Download the Game Time app. Go to the account tab to create a login and redeem code DOGWALK for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Download Game Time, last-minute tickets, lowest price guaranteed. Try out Game Time, people. It's a great app, and they will satisfy all your ticket needs. I promise you that. Also, speaking of that, we have merch here. Friday is the last day to go to the Barstool store. Buy some Chicago merch if you want it by Christmas. If you need a gift, go to the Barstool store. Got this beautiful Chicago rollback polo, the 312 rollback polo. Got a Michigan Avenue street sign in there, a Chicago theater sign, a Wrigley Field sign, a hot dog. It's got a fucking Ferris wheel on there from Navy Pier. It's got a bunch of beautiful stuff. I love this rollback polo. Chicago cursive, Travis Matthew hat, a lot of good stuff from the Chicago merch store. Buy that. We appreciate you. Order by Friday, and you will get it by Christmas. So another thing, it's December, people. These holidays are going to sneak up on you. Do it now. Pause the podcast. Buy stuff. Barstool Chicago merch store. All right, Simpsons. Danny.
Simpsons.
I already know why, so I guess this is fucking rhetorical. But, so it's widely agreed upon. And I'm not even a huge Simpsons guy, right?
What?
But it's widely... Thank you, Dave. We're 7 minutes into the show. We got a White Sox David impression.
Sorry.
But it's widely agreed upon, right, that The Simpsons has gone downhill in their 30-year
Yes.
or however history, okay?
Sure.
Why don't they get the same heat that Saturday Night Live does?
I think,
and I know why.
Well, let's hear why you think why.
Because maybe it okay. There could be a couple reasons. Sure. Maybe it hasn't decreased significantly as much, but it's because as much as the quality has gone down, you'll still always love those characters behind those lines, right? So you're never going to hate the stuff coming out of Homer's mouth because you'll always remember the good stuff that came out of his mouth, right?
Sure.
Kind of.
I think SNL almost had like a genre change. Like they went from they're like politically correct, where Simpsons is not politically correct, and Simpsons
somewhat. I mean, it's definitely gotten more politically correct.
Maybe they slightly adapted, but SNL just like flipped the switch. And I think Simpsons gets more respect because they've worked with the same things they have for so long. Like you're bound to miss out on some jokes, whereas SNL doesn't have an excuse. They're constantly just taking the best of the best, and they're still like, meh.
Or because The Simpsons are constantly predicting the future, I feel like you don't have to be like, whoa, you don't have to be funny all the time, but the accuracy is a little bit unparalleled.
They got soothsayers in the writing room.
But it's... I'll start with this. Do you think that the... Do you watch SNL ever or no?
Here and there.
You do?
Mm-hmm.
I actually watched the Chappelle episode, what was that, 3 weeks ago?
I watched it.
Yeah, same.
And it was actually a really good show, top to bottom, I thought. The sketches were funny.
Well, I heard he didn't get his monologue approved, but he said it anyways.
Oh, really? I didn't know that. And I actually didn't think his monologue was anything special.
I loved his monologue.
Did you? I didn't think it was anything special. I love Dave Chappelle. I like Dave Chappelle too, but he's also in such a category where his bar is so high where it must be daunting for him to pick up a microphone every time because he has to achieve such a status every time he takes the stage. You know what I mean? So you expect the best fucking filet mignon you've ever had every time he talks, and you know what I mean? So I just didn't think that was that, knowing how good Dave can be. I didn't think it was bad, but some people I don't know. I saw someone blogged it on Barstool Dave's best, of course, per usual. Fucking, I thought it was fine. I thought it was solid, but it didn't blow my dick off.
Yeah, it's probably got to be a relief for some of them going on SNL because they know it's gone downhill, and them being on will bring it back up no matter what.
Oh yeah, definitely. I feel like whoever's at SNL, like, I feel like Dave also had probably restraints, whether it was like social constraints or like behind the scenes.
Well, he said that. Yeah, he said if he did a disapproved monologue, then yeah.
But like either way, I thought it was like super good for what he was kind of like up against.
Yeah, sure. Obviously, network TV. But even like the sketches were good. I forgot they did one where he was playing a guitar and they like kept referring what the record album name was, and then he did another sketch that was really good. It was good, like it was top to bottom. It was honestly a good show. I thought the whole cast did a good job, but that's the only one I've seen all season. So
you think Simpsons has gone downhill that much?
I don't watch. And listen. This is the world we live in now, where and like I fall into it too, where how much of the world and how many people do you think are actually consuming something and giving their honest critique?
30%.
That's even generous.
Yeah.
Too.
Or
and
like,
it's definitely low.
Or like even watch it enough to have a valid opinion.
Right? Yeah. That's fucking astronomically low.
Yeah.
But even the people consuming it is crazy low, dude. You know, how many people are just basing their opinion on just something they've read? You know?
So much. Yeah.
So many. And like, because it really kind of hit me. What was I reading it? It was either I clicked on an article or I clicked on and it took me to, there was like a controversy going on. It was either with Rogan or Bill Simmons, and I clicked on the Reddit, and it was someone was on one of his podcasts, and it's like, oh, did you hear this? And it was like a conversation he had, and it was like he said something in a line. He's like, oh, that was like, it got super awkward during this part of the podcast. Like the guest was clearly uncomfortable, and then I listened. I was like, oh, like I didn't get that vibe at all.
Oh, yeah, every day. I mean, first YouTube commenter, this would be like, Danny fucking sucks. He shouldn't be in content. And then like a buddy would be like, oh, heard you had a bad show. I was like, not really.
Did you watch it?
Yeah.
But so many people are they're just not consuming it, and they're just reading words as gospel. And that's right. I don't know how you combat that.
A 20-year-old in Wisconsin controls my destiny.
I know, that's fucked up, right?
I feel like that's like almost like the new way of like content, just like clickbait things.
Yeah. Exactly. Like you really need to have people who, you really need to trust what you're doing, or you really need to have someone who watches. That's why it's kind of tough here, I guess, because like no one really watches what you're doing, so you don't really get much feedback.
Yeah.
So if like, I don't know, like
so if 5 people are saying you suck, and it's like, oh, you suck.
Yeah, so like there needs, that would be helpful if there was more of a streamline of like, hey, like this is working for you, this is not. I think that would help a lot of shows here. But nevertheless, 30%, I don't know, I think it's lower than that, dude.
You said 30% for how many people actually
consume the content
and give an honest opinion.
Versus like, oh, I heard that was bad, or like, oh, hey, like people are saying this about that special, like, oh, I heard Schultz's special, or I heard Gillis's, or I heard you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I heard this special was like, it was good in the first half. I heard this special was bad in the first half. I heard this special was corny. You know what I mean? It's like,
you didn't hear that either from like the New York Post.
No,
you heard it on like the
yes.
first comment on Facebook.
Exactly. You scroll like the first page of, yes, exactly.
I feel like we all do that to an extent.
For
almost.
sure. No,
definitely.
like everyone's
We don't want to
guilty of
waste
it.
our time.
For sure. Everyone's guilty. And it's the same thing. That's why like, I don't know, like how much do you take into account of like Rotten Tomatoes before you go to a movie or not?
Is this because I sent you the Rotten Tomatoes
Of what?
screenshot of Jonah Hill's doc?
Oh,
It's
no, I did
100%.
not.
It's so good.
No. It is not. It is not.
Was this a personal attack?
No, but like, and I get it too. Like if people are saying good things, like, you know, I don't know. But then again, like word of mouth is also the best thing for a positive review as well.
For sure.
Mm-hmm.
For sure.
So it could work both ways, right? Like that'll get you to watch something.
Like
But
I'm
also-
out here, the opposite, telling Danny, comments loving you on YouTube.
I don't know.
Opposite. I only see like positive things, or willingly only see positive things.
Yeah, but that's like, but that's my point. Is just I just don't know how many people are, you know, at the end of the day when
When it's all said and done.
When push comes to shove. And that's not even, I'm not even talking about us, to be clear.
Yeah.
To be
Just
clear.
everything in general.
Yes, this is not about, I'm talking about, this stemmed from Saturday Night Live. I'm not talking about us at all. This is Saturday Night Live. Like that, like, because I know especially like so many of our writers at Barstool, I know so many of our people that are fucking blabbering about how much it sucks are not watching it. And that's bad on us. Like, we should be, if you really think Saturday Night Live, you should be sitting down and watching the fucking whole season, or at least watching the whole episode, or at least a fucking handful of episodes to get a good sample size, and then decide if it sucks or not, you know? But
real quick, can I say about Simpsons? I know the moment it went downhill because I used to religiously watch it.
Yeah.
Was the Lady Gaga episode.
What happened there?
It was just tacky and just super PC, and it was bad. It was a bad episode, and that's the moment I stopped watching every week.
all right.
Just want to say.
Was she the actual voice of her character?
Yes, sorry. Gaga. But it was bad. It was a bad episode, and everyone who watches The Simpsons will know what episode it was.
That was the turning point, the Lady Gaga episode?
Yes. My family watched every week. But that was it.
You know what, Danny? This is what, interesting enough, because I know you follow that stuff closely. So that's why I said I'm interested in your take, particularly Hannah, not so much. But yeah, I didn't know we had a Simpsons expert, so I'm happy to hear that the Lady Gaga episode from Hannah was where it went downhill. So thank you, Hannah.
Welcome. Sorry.
You'd have to figure if she's doing her own voice, she's not going to be making fun of herself. So it's believable.
Yeah.
That's when it all went south.
Yeah. But no, I don't know. That was just, I think it's a very interesting conversation, and
It's just, I think that's just how it is these days. You got to fight through it.
yeah. And like, it's such a meat grinder because people's attention span, I don't know. It's a very unique,
Yeah. Shout out if you're still listening.
unique market. But I was impressed for as much people talk about SNL, and I know this is weird too because this was like a fucking month ago, this episode, but it was like the holidays and like we had a whole big episode. But I wrote that down from there about the Simpsons and whatnot.
In the old notes app.
Yes, exactly. And like I said, I really think it stems from Bart, and like you just love those characters, so you're not going to give them as much grief as you will someone doing an impression and wearing like underwear over their pants and like doing like a weird bit and be like, oh, this is weird, So,
yeah, I get it.
But whatever.
The drop off was much bigger in SNL than Simpsons.
Yeah.
That's my final say.
Yeah, sure. What's up with you being on a cocaine account?
Danny.
So yeah, like every year around Cyber Monday or Black Friday, the holiday season, there's a cocaine meme page called Thursday Lines, and I've noticed the past couple of years they just pulled a picture of me from like 2017 where I'm sitting on a mall Santa's lap, and they use it in like their sponsored posts every year. So more and more people are seeing it, they're tagging me in it, they're DMing me in it. And it's got to the point where they've already posted it like 3 times this year. So people are like, is there like a backstory to this? Like, did you submit this? Like, are you a frequent cocaine user? And I'm like, no. Basically, they just pulled a random picture of me, and now I'm pretty much the poster child for cocaine. So I just wanted to clear that up.
You swear you did not submit that.
Didn't even follow this page to begin with, but it has like 300,000 followers or something.
And perfectly normal. You were just sitting on a mall Santa's lap in 2017 when
Correct.
you were like 25 years old.
Yeah, standard stuff.
Okay.
The content creator grind back in the day.
With a niece or a nephew, I assume?
No, just by myself.
By yourself.
And
Samak John?
Shout out oral producer.
All right.
And it's not like I was even wearing a sweater of theirs. Like, it wasn't like the cocaine was like was the snowflakes and the Christmas trees were weed leaves. It was just a tacky Christmas sweater I got from Target. So there's really no rhyme or reason, but
it is funny though.
I guess no such thing as bad publicity even when you're on a cocaine page.
It's been years. Every year they do this.
So yeah, they started doing it in stories. I remember Tom sent it to me last year. He's like, "Is this you?" Because like I didn't know him at that time. I was like, "Yeah, that's me." And then like I said, they posted like twice again this year. To the point where, like I said, it's almost like a sponsored post. Like I don't know, like just holiday seasons come around, Black Friday comes around, back in my mind, Thanksgiving dinner, I'm like, oh, probably going to get memed into a drug addict again this year.
Are you upset by this? You just seem like, the holidays, winter, Santa, I'm on a cocaine meme account. It's just the norm.
It's just the norm now. But I just wanted to basically clear up that I'm not doing cocaine on the weekdays. Like,
he's not making it snow, if you know what I mean.
Because they don't like, they also don't post, like, whoever runs the page, they don't post any pictures of themselves. It's all just like
you.
It's like Friday beers. It's the cocaine of Friday beers, or zillion beers, zillion key bumps, whatever you
well,
prefer.
you like are actually a perfect stock photo guy. Have you ever heard that?
Yeah.
I'm a very like bland. I look like a lot of people.
Yeah, you're such a generic guy.
Yeah. I've heard that a lot.
Yeah, have you heard that? Yeah,
but
you are like, you are like
everybody's friend.
Like
I'm like the creative character.
Yeah, like
default.
you have that claymation to you.
Right.
Like you're a claymation ass.
But it'd be one thing if I had like white powder under my nose in the picture, just like let's take a normal looking guy with a normal looking Christmas sweater and just make him a poster child for cocaine on the weekdays.
You're like an NPC.
Yeah, like you're just a claymation ass. But they do that kind of shit. Like I know I had a buddy who, I don't know, he did like a tour at like The Onion or something, and like they asked to take like stock photos of people for when they do like fake articles, and like every now and then like he would just pop up in like an article, and it would just be like a photo of him, and like I just searched it, and it's like, man unsure he's done enough research to take all the fun out of making NCAA bracket, like, and it's just a picture of him, and everyone's like, oh, like what are you doing? It's like, yeah, I went to The Onion and they asked to take stock photos and like,
but I didn't.
Yeah,
they pulled this from my Instagram. I didn't do a photo shoot. I don't get anything out of this. Like, luckily, I'm in a job like this. I'm not an accountant right now.
For real, yeah.
I guess that's what happens when you take a picture with Santa when you're 25. You're prone to being memed.
They know what you're
like.
doing.
I just imagine you just like back then, kind of like grinding really hard, doing stuff for content, like pretty much like selling your soul. Okay, fine, I'll do stock photos.
Yeah, I'll do mall Santa reviews. Fine.
And then suddenly, years later, here you are just accepting the fact that it's like a year-round thing.
Yeah, all I could think of is like a Chicago website asked me if they could use that picture of me way like 5 years ago, so they must have got it from there.
Really?
Like I don't have a big Instagram by any means, so it'd be weird for them to stumble upon.
But I don't know. Thursday Lines have a partnership with?
No,
I don't
definitely
think a
not.
Cocaine account can partner with really anybody.
That's what I mean. So I got that going for me.
No, that's good. I can see you being that fucking, like you're just like in the frame you buy off a Target's rack.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're like everybody's friend, but not a specific friend at the same time.
Right.
Yeah. People have said that to you a lot, that you're just like the critic.
Yeah, basically. Whenever someone goes to Ireland, they come back saying, like, I saw 10 people that look like you.
Fucking Wallace and Gromit ass.
I'm a sim.
Great. That's great.
A lot of my friends say that about you. They're like, oh, I recognize him from somewhere. I'm like, do you?
Yeah,
no, you don't.
They're like, he has this face. I was
no,
like,
you don't. He was a fucking,
Yeah, you ever play a computer game in 2007?
Yeah, he was an extra as the barista in The Proposal. Like, he wasn't, a guy who just looked just like him.
He was Justin Long's stunt double.
Exactly, yeah.
Just an NPC, honestly. But that's like kind of like a power move to just be recognizable but not identifiable.
Well, it got to the point, again, this was posted like mid-November, and I saw and it was, by this point, it had been posted twice in like a week this year. So like, just the more it's posted, the more chances of people I know seeing it, more chance of people thinking I do cocaine all the time on the weekdays.
Yeah.
And it got to a point
is
where
not off the table.
on the weekdays, come on, we've been through this. No. But it got to a point where I ran into like a childhood friend on the train, and he was like, I saw you on like the cocaine page, and he was like, what? He's like, how come they post it all the time? I was like, I don't know. Remember when I was doing those old videos? Like, yeah, I guess. So his eyebrows were raised, but
That's great. But also, I should note for you guys that 'tis the season for clean balls. Fa la 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 la.
But did you practice that before this?
This is the third time I've done it this week, and I'm going to do it again tomorrow. So yeah, I'm here talking about Manscaped. Manscaped, from stocking stuffers to white elephants, Manscaped's products are at the top of everyone's wish list. Help all the men in your life go from eggnog to nice hog this December by going to manscaped.com and using code DOGWALK for 20% off plus free shipping. Manscaped is a one-stop shop for all your holiday needs. They have the perfect gift in the Platinum Package 4.0 plus loads of little presents for perfect stocking stuffers. It includes the Lawnmower 4.0, Weed Whacker, 2-in-1 shampoo and conditioner, body wash, deodorant, crop preserver, crop reviver, plus the travel bag and Manscaped boxers. Another great gift is a Shears 2.0. Their full kit for nail care with scissors, clippers, tweezers, and a file for the traveling man. There's also the new Preserve cologne that brings a light, breezy, woodsy feel and gives that fresh tree scent even after the holidays are over. Danny, this is asking for a personal endorsement. You were on record about the nose trimmer, about how much you love these.
Oh, you need a nose trimmer in this age. It's great. Just getting in there, then putting a white Kleenex in there and seeing all the hair come out, it's just oddly satisfying.
It is.
The ball trimmer. Once you get the Manscaped, you're never going back. You don't have to treat it like you're down there scoping a minefield anymore. You could just take that razor straight to it. It really is. It's like my number one most suggested product to people.
It is. It really. They have like this. They have this technology. They have like this little bar on top of it.
It doesn't make sense, and I don't care because it works.
And it makes it hard, really hard to like cut your nuts.
You can't cut your balls.
Exactly.
It's crazy.
Yes, it's very, very useful.
Get it.
Yes, get it. Get 20% off and free shipping with code DOGWALK at manscaped.com. That's 20% off with free shipping at manscaped.com. Use code DOGWALK Manscaped for a perfect gift that will be the holidays' biggest hit.
As someone who's 5 foot tall who always only looks up nostrils, get it.
Go get it. Yeah. Yes, exactly. And the crop preserver.
Shaving your balls doesn't have to be a 4-hour thing anymore.
It does not.
It does not.
We did want to talk about cheapness in Venmo culture. That was on the list for today. Danny, I'll let you take it away here.
Well, in terms of say if you're making like a handshake bet with someone and you're like, at $20, they don't score here. Right? Like, all right, I'll Venmo you. And as time goes on, you win the bet and they don't Venmo you. And it's like, well, it's only $20, so now I'm kind of the cheap one if I ask for it. But then again, if we were Venmoing or if we were betting with cold hard cash, we wouldn't have this problem.
100%.
Same with kind of like the people who not so much anymore, like never had the Uber app. It's like, I can't get this ride. I don't have an Uber. It's like, download Uber.
They don't deserve to get a ride then. If you don't have an Uber app, get out of the car.
I think those people are finally dead by now.
Yeah.
I think everyone
You'd be surprised.
They've been shamed to death.
Unless if it's a parent, which is acceptable.
Yeah, that's fine.
I have no problem calling an Uber for my parents.
Of course,
no problem. However,
because your parents genuinely are confused by it, your friends are not.
Yes, exactly. If you I think I had one friend who was holding out and he finally got it. But you're right. But especially if it's like, if you're playing cards or something and you show up and you're trying to get out of here. That's not how it works.
Don't make me ask. Just pay. There's Venmo the 20 or something. Then it turns into oh, what, dude? It's just $20. Well, that's not what it's about.
It's a respect thing.
Yes.
It's I can't stand cheap people on Venmo. When those kind of people who you're constantly paying. Oh, just get me back. But suddenly they pay once. You're like, oh, you're short 5 cents. What the? Where did you come out of here? Turning into a calculator, punching these numbers.
Yeah,
works both ways.
No, I know.
Are you cheap?
No, not at all. I'm not a fan of cheap people. And I understand there's a difference between being hey, I need to be frugal, I need to watch my money, and I respect that, and completely understand. But people who are really fucking assholes about it can get fucked.
Yes.
I'll be completely
100%.
honest. They can get fucked.
Yeah, and I get people don't really carry cash on them. It's more just don't make someone ask 3 times for the
Yeah, I was sitting at this was years ago. I was sitting at a bar with a couple friends, and this guy was a notorious Like, you know, like everyone's hungry, and he's like, oh yeah, they got food, and he opens up the menu, and he's like, oh, and he looks, and he's like, oh yeah, I'm not gonna eat, and then like he got Wendy's on his way home. Like it's like, dude, what are you doing? Like that's next level.
Oh, we had a steakhouse.
Yeah, no, not even. It was just like a regular bar food, like, you know, probably like a $12 or a $10 burger or something. You know what I mean? Like that's like next level.
Well, is he impacting your guys' ability to order?
No, but it's just like,
I think of the person who comes, enjoys the ambiance, the friends, the company, gets offered a tender, and then goes, hey, I only ate one tender.
oh yeah. That
Like get out of here.
if they said they only ate one tender.
Yeah, but only because everyone bought food. And then you look at him looking like he's starving. And you're like, hey, you want a tender? And he eats it. He's like,
Yeah.
Then suddenly the bill comes out. Hey, guys, just reminding everybody, I only have
Well,
one
if he didn't,
tender.
like, I wouldn't expect that person to pay if they only had one.
Yeah, but you had like a bucket of beers. Like, do you know what I mean?
I know what you mean. Yeah. Yeah, it can go the reverse too. Like if you're splitting a bill with a bunch of people and like you're just getting beers while everyone else is ordering margaritas and shit. It's like, well,
It's kind of like almost like be
a gray
proactive, get another
area.
tab. Get your
Yeah.
own tab if you're gonna. I understand spending within your means, but like don't watch that one guy who always puts his card down. Put his card down for the 5th time this week.
It's annoying because it's like, but then how do you combat that? Because the people who like run out and never, because White Sox Dave, like he's like the king of that.
He looks like he would be.
No. He gets fucked a lot, actually.
Oh, no.
Like, he'll always, like, people run out. But, like, he's also the guy who's like, yeah, round of shots. You know what I mean? And then, like, people run out. And, like, White Sox Dave will get stuck with the bill a lot, I feel. But, like, you know, the people who run out, it does suck for him, you know? But, I don't know. You just got to fucking, like, watch your shit. Throw some money before you leave. Venmo the guy. If you're just constantly the one who's always just creeping in and out, the mental note of that person is always there.
Yeah, yes,
You know?
I agree.
yeah, and just ending up paying like the full thing, whatever, splitting, even though whoever had more is worth it, rather than being called cheap.
And honestly, I'd rather be the person financially taking the impact than morally taking the impact.
Yeah, exactly.
So, you know, I've been that person,
Yes.
putting down the money. I'd rather bite the bullet on the money than ever look like the person
Yes.
who's cheap.
1,000%. You can't be
That's
person.
that's what I just meant. Yeah, rather than be the person like sending the Venmo request.
Yeah.
It's
exactly.
worth it. It's worth it to me.
1,000%.
1,000%. But
You can't be that person. Be like, dude, he's always sneaking off. Like this guy, like he didn't buy the bucket. Like he didn't.
yeah, Bill
like,
came and he took a phone call.
Yeah, the last 3 times we went out, this guy didn't buy a bucket. Like, you know what I mean? You can't be that guy.
No.
You can't, because
You can't be
eventually
that guy.
you're just not going to get the invite.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, are you a Venmo requester? Let
No.
me ask you
I
that.
don't think I've ever done it.
No.
I'm not a requester, but I'll be like,
Why is it so embarrassing that request?
yeah,
for
why,
money?
why is asking for money so
Yes, it's owed to you. Why
hard? I'm
is
down
that?
like 500 from personal things, but like, why should I have to ask for that money back?
I know, but
Well,
you know what I mean, though. Like,
it's
why is it
horrible.
so?
It's shameful.
Because
You're
we're
begging.
Because we're not the cheap people, you guys. Because
I
we're not
know.
the cheap people. It's just out of character.
But it is so like. It is so like. I don't know.
Uncomfortable.
Yeah, it's weird. It's like, hey, you know, like if you don't mind, like, but I guess the request does make it happen.
Well,
Easily.
usually in my head, it's like if it's with the close friends, like, oh, they'll get me back another time.
Exactly.
But then
Yeah,
if it comes to
yeah.
like where they're asking, it's like then I have to be jag off like, hey, I paid for dinner the last 2 times, and you're asking me for like $25.
Yeah,
that's when it starts getting a little choppy.
For sure. I don't know. Venmo culture's weird, man.
Venmo, Zelle, they got
Yeah,
it all
yeah.
now.
Yeah, but it has helped. Before it'd be like, I don't know.
Put down 8 cards. They're like, good luck.
And honestly, you just gotta like credit card roulette. I feel has helped a lot too. Because then it's just like, hey, you got fucked, dude. Like, deal with it.
I mean, how do they do it at like, is it like Chili's and those places where they have the iPad on the table and you're basically able to itemize it yourself?
Yeah, they do have that. They
Whoa,
do have that.
That's
Chili's.
nice.
They do have that.
That's impressive. Good for Chili's.
But no, yeah.
Yeah,
But then
very
like white,
proactive.
yeah, me and so I gotta sneeze.
Watermelon.
Do it.
What does watermelon mean?
Look at
You're
the
supposed
light.
to It's supposed to get rid of your sneeze, but
Really?
I would never want to get rid of a sneeze.
Don't hold in the
Really?
demons. Look at the light.
I don't want to look at the light. I'm trying to avoid the light here.
He's got special glasses for that.
Well, don't hold in your demons.
I think it went away. It is a rite of passage in this office, though. Like you don't work here until you get Venmo'd by White Sox Dave, because he just never has cash. Like,
Oh, yeah.
that's just his mo. I don't know. Interesting. It is one of the best inventions of the fact that they were able to collaborate with all banks and like make it all work. It's
Sure,
good.
and Uber.
Yeah. Uber's like, yeah.
Oh yeah.
I think those both went first round the app draft. So
As it
very
should.
very well deserved.
As it should.
Very well deserved.
Like lifelong changing apps.
Yeah.
Those are revolutionary apps.
Speaking of like apps and phones and stuff, did you see? I saw an article in BBC.com that said the airplane mode. There's going to be no more in the EU. They're going to allow, not airplane mode no more. They're going to allow calls on flights. I feel like that's a dangerous game.
Kind of rude.
I feel like that's a dangerous game.
Well, what's the whole model behind airplane mode? They say it interferes with the planes, like
Technological wavelengths, or
yeah, something like that. Which
Well,
I don't
like the air traffic control and shit.
Yeah.
Maybe.
So
I think
what?
so. I
They,
think
they
that's-
have some sort of new airplane technology that won't be affected by
I think it's always been like, just in case if it does.
right.
But I think they've like known for a while that it doesn't. But like it's just been a rule that's ingrained. And like so here's my thought process in general. So now it's just kind of a common courtesy thing.
That's what I was gonna say.
Because also my thing is, why did they make you decline or fix your recline before you land?
I don't know.
There's no reason
I'm
why.
tired of it.
Right? To me, it's 100% why, because they don't want the next people who are boarding to come on a plane that looks like fucking
Messy.
a messy ass house that has shoes and fucking shirts all over the place. I think it's just to get like the plane back in order.
Well,
right?
but don't they do it for takeoff as well?
Yeah. But
Well, also, I think it's also the back row who can't like recline back, bitching about it so much that it impacts everybody else in front of them on the plane.
yeah, I think I did ask the flight attendant that, and she didn't.
Shut your mouth.
She didn't have an answer.
She can't tell you all the secrets.
Yeah, that was back in 2020, I believe. She didn't have an answer. She was just like, "Yeah, it makes sense though." Because that would suck. They had to go and press the button on every fucking row. But
yeah, are you about to start taking calls like with people jammed on both sides of you?
Disgusting.
oh my god, dude! I took the Amtrak to Boston last week, and just some guy was on the phone there, and it was
Absurd.
It was like infuriating. No, like you can't do that.
I think that's
No.
so rude.
I'm not for this at all.
I think even in Ubers, I'm like, excuse me, by the way, can I take a phone call? Just to let them know I'm not talking to them and that they can do their thing. I'm like, you don't need to turn on the volume or anything, just for you to know.
Yeah. What do you think is worse, a talkative Uber or a smelly Uber?
Smelly.
Ooh, smelly.
Really?
Yeah.
Smelly.
Hands down.
Smelly.
Smelly.
Smelly and hot is tough.
Smelly and stuffy.
Smelly and stuffy, yeah.
That I already get like car sick. I'm like prone to get car sick. If I'm smelling something
Yeah.
sharp in the Uber, I'm like, this is tough.
Yeah, dude. I got in one a couple months ago, and this guy was hurting, dude. And he was just bitching about everything. Smelled bad. It was stuffy in there.
The trifecta.
Yeah, dude. He was complaining about the architecture of the rock and roll McDonald's. Yeah, like he's like, it's a fucking shame. They ruined that McDonald's. Used to have character. Now they turn it into looking like a fucking bank. And I'm like, yeah, dude, go off. Like, fucking McDonald's sucks. Yeah, he was just like he looked like he played in like a heavy metal band. He was just, yeah.
Used to be a taxi driver, now has to conform to Uber.
Yeah.
Back when I was down bad, I didn't have a car, and I would Uber like to and fro work every day, and I would started doing Uber pool. And
that before.
one time I was working at the bar, and I was leaving at like 3 a.m, and at the last minute, my Uber pool picks up another passenger, and it's a girl gets in. She's like hammered, and this guy is playing "I Got Five" on it on the radio, and for some reason, this girl just does not like the song. She has no reason to be dissing the song. Pretty good song. And eventually it led to him threatening to call the cops on her. And so we pulled over. He kicked her out, and then he called the cops on her, and then we just left.
So awkward. What a Uber pool. Oh, that's like.
So I don't really Uber pool anymore ever since.
Uber got pulled over by the cops.
They got rid of it for a while, right?
I believe
for COVID. And I think it's back. It's not called pool or something.
Share.
They just they rebranded because it had a negative connotation.
My Uber got pulled over by the cops the other day. Like 2 days ago.
Oh, really?
And it was like awkward. Why was I like embarrassed?
That he got pulled over?
Yeah, because he couldn't speak that much English. And he said Uber driver. And the windows were tinted. I don't think they could see me behind. And here I am like just like trying to not look like a kidnapped child in the back.
Fair.
Do you know what I mean? When I'm like, do I pipe up? He's like, oh, by the way, you don't have like the Uber 911 shown for your passengers in case of emergencies. I'm back here. I'm like, oh my God, am I getting kidnapped? But then I was like, I'm the Uber passenger. And then the cops were like, wait, what? He rolled it down that much where you could only see like my eyes. I was like, I'm just a passenger, by the way. Two other cops come up just to like check if I'm like kidnapped in the back. And I was like, I'm good. I'm all good.
I thought you were being trafficked or something.
Yeah, probably. Yeah. But I gave the poor guy 5 stars, like he's just being my Uber.
Yeah.
It is awkward though. You ever been in the backseat of an Uber? He like cuts off someone. The guy next to you starts freaking out, and you make eye contact with him. You kind of just shrug. You're like, this is my Uber. I didn't do it.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, that's actually a very terrifying scenario. If your Uber gets in like a road rage thing, and like, cause you could tell your buddy if he's like being an asshole. It's like, yo, dude, fucking relax. It's not. Don't fight this guy in a fucking F-150 over cutting you off. You don't know what this guy's got in his car. Like, it's not worth it. You see shit like that happen all the time. Right. But I'm not talking this guy down. I don't know him. I just met him. You know what I mean? There's no way. If this guy's getting mad, who knows what kind of bad road rage person he ran into before.
I like it.
And he starts flooring it like 70. He's like, hey, there's people back here paying for this ride.
Fuck that.
I knew a guy who his Uber got in a car accident, and the guy who was in the Uber had to go to court as a witness. He's like, that fucking sucks, dude.
Yeah.
My Uber got in a car accident like Popeyes. It was like embarrassing again. I'm just standing there. You got like T-boned.
And you were like
I was in there in the back. We got slammed.
Did you want Popeyes?
I mean, I could have definitely gotten Popeyes.
Well, why were you at Popeyes?
It's your pickup location.
Yeah.
Okay, whoa.
You were like skipping a spot.
How did we get
There's
to
a
Popeyes?
reason why you were at fucking Popeyes.
We started on chapter 4.
Yeah, don't just fucking.
I was on the way back from the airport. By the way, there's no shame if I wanted Popeyes.
No, there's not. I just want to know how we got there.
I like
and
Popeyes.
Someone clearly wanted Popeyes more than I did. Did a turn so fast it slammed into my Uber into the Popeyes drive-thru.
No shit.
And so I stood there like with my suitcases from the airport.
And your bag of fried chicken and biscuits.
But yeah, just like.
That's tough, yeah.
And it was like kind of just like embarrassing for everybody. And I had to get like picked up. When Uber has to call you and be like, are you okay? I'm like, I'm fine.
Yeah.
I had to give a statement and everything.
Yeah, my chicken's a little cold, but
Yeah.
I'm good.
Popeyes over probably anything, by the way.
Nah, but.
Over Chick-fil-A.
Over fast food chicken chains?
No.
Popeyes over Chick-fil-A.
No way.
No way.
Why? You gonna weigh in? Or no?
I've really only had Chick-fil-A like once or twice.
Oh, really?
Yes.
But I'm definitely Popeyes over KFC, if that's what you're asking.
Popeyes over KFC, I agree. Yes, Danny.
I don't know. Whatever. I'm not gonna fight that.
Yeah.
I don't got nothing to say about that.
Fight your own battles, dude. This ain't it.
Dude, Uber talk is like, I feel like we could keep going for a fucking hour, but Uber's so wild. You know what though? If you do want, there is something to the old fashioned cabs. Like those guys know where they're going. They know the back routes. Like this fucking guy who bought a fucking Honda, and he, took a picture of his license plate and like registered online and went to fucking Jiffy Lube to get his car inspected. He doesn't know how to get around the city.
Don't get me started when they ask you for the directions.
Yeah, bro. Like these cabs, those motherfuckers have been in the trenches for years, dude.
Like when we're in New York and we just wave a cab, it's so exhilarating.
Yeah.
And you just give them an intersection of of a borough you're not even in. Like, yep, I'll be there in a sec.
Yeah. Like I think you talked about it. Was it you who said, or was someone's brought, maybe it's Tommy Smoke. Someone said it's like, how many times do you think when they said a cab says step on it, or like it gets there? Dude, I think there's something to that.
Oh, they will.
Yeah,
Definitely.
I think like I drive a little too reckless for my liking. Like don't fucking hit a biker or something. But like cabs, like they know the fucking game, dude.
Yeah, we were talking about this last week. How like cabs and CTA buses, they just have like a free pass. It feels like on the roads. They're cutting everyone off. So if you're in that car, you're basically in a rocket ship and you're just untouchable.
And you'd be a dick too if you probably drove for 12 hours and you had to watch all the people who drive like assholes. So
Yeah.
that's my final takeaway.
Real quick, what do you think about when you order an Uber and a Tesla rolls up?
It's only happened once, and I was with you. So
It's happened to me 3 times, and I'm just like,
really,
Eddie, do you part-time Uber? Like, how do we get to the point where you're buying a Tesla, you have a Tesla?
I didn't have
suddenly
it.
you're
I
also
didn't
an
have
Uber
it at the
driver.
time. I didn't have it at the time.
But like, how do you? It's just such a weird, just paradox, I guess. Like, it's like seeing you like part-time Uber after this. Like, you made it, but did you? Almost.
Yeah, I see. Yeah, like you're rich enough to buy a Tesla.
I don't do.
But you're still Ubering.
That's such a negative connotation. I'm not rich. I don't have I have student loans, for Christ's sakes.
Well, then good to know. So like now I see
fucking-
these Ubers. I'm like, hey, treat yourself, but
I
good
use.
for you with the
I
grind.
have student loans. I use paper plates on Thanksgiving. All right. I'm not fucking rich. All right. I'm not. I did not come from money. That's not. I'm not.
He buys sporks to avoid having to buy.
If anything, that makes
spoons
me
and
fucking
forks.
white trash as fuck. That's the first thing I bought. To be honest with you, that makes me super white trash.
Well, now that changes my opinion. So I'm like, good to know that these people still in that grind, and I gotta respect it. But it always make me question.
Or when you call an Uber, it's like a 2010 minivan. You're pulling up to like a club in River North. Like, God damn it! So I'm getting dropped off for soccer practice.
But yeah, I don't know. I think a lot of these people, like the one we bought, like that guy had, for instance, that guy had the Model X or the S or whatever it is, the big SUV with like the fucking T doors. Those are like $100,000. I don't have that model, for the record. I have the lower model. He, I think those people buy those or they lease them. And like, you see all the people with like the big fucking Explorers and the big fucking Escalades. I think they buy those like with the intent of being like, hey, I'm going to go super hard in the rideshare lane.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like I'm going to be Uber Black and I'm going to be fucking like
It's a business investment.
Yeah, it's a business investment. So that's why I think that's their thought process. Like,
That's
hey,
smart.
yes, I'm getting more people. Like I'm going to cram fucking Hannah Tran and the girls in and take them from Old Town to fucking Prism. Like, you know what I mean? Like, well, that's very close proximity, but you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Prism to fucking Barstool River North. How about that?
Thank you.
Yeah.
That's better. But yeah.
Okay, good to know. I would love to get you as an Uber driver one day.
I don't drive Uber. What is it? I don't drive Uber. This is like, that's how your brain is just insane. How does that make, because you got 3 Ubers in your life, you're like, oh, I drive Uber all of a sudden?
I'm just saying, if you ever did, I would give you 5 stars. I feel like you'd be a very nice Uber driver.
I would, for the content. I like to meet people. But
like the cash cab.
yeah, exactly.
Podcast cab.
Yeah, I like to converse with random people, obviously. But I don't know, something about a person being behind me who could just fucking grab on my fucking hood and like, like.
Do you do that as a common courtesy? You can't. If you're the only person in the car, you can't sit directly behind the driver.
You should never. That's so weird.
It is kind of fucking freaky, dude.
Yeah.
If you think about it.
You got to sit behind the passenger seat.
Yeah, it is.
So you can be in their peripherals.
It is.
Just look directly in their eyes in the mirror, like.
Yeah, it is. All right, then. We'll wrap it there. Thank you.
I was talking Ubers, suppressing some
Ubers.
memories.
Yeah. Hannah Tran, Danny Conrad, thank you.
Eddie, the Uber driver.
Harry, thank you. That's it, everybody. Thank you for listening. We'll be back tomorrow. We will see you then.